Hello again, and welcome to Along the Rock, our podcast that pays homage to the people of the Sauk Valley and the river that runs through it. My name is Mark Morris. I'm your host today. My guest is Monica Telschow, who is the Employment Education Coordinator, or the Achievement Education Coordinator, Achievement being part of Junior Achievement, which is an organization that was around when I was little, which was a few years ago. And so it qualifies, as I'm concerned, with a lot of the iconic organizations that have been in this country for years and years and years. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you name it. Tell us about Junior Achievement and what it is and what it does for young people.
So Junior Achievement is a nonprofit organization that provides an educational program to schools that teach students about entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and work readiness. We have programs ranging from kindergarten through high school.
It seems hard to believe. I don't remember it being available that early in the olden days, as my kids say.
No, it started as a high school program where students would create a product and then they would go out and sell that product. But yes, we have programs starting in kindergarten, and students learn kindergarten level economic concepts, such as families have to earn money and they need to save that money. And so they learn that banks and credit unions are safe places to keep their money.
Okay. Now, you must have partners in this. Obviously, there must be a lot of partners. So how does that work?
So we have partners within the community. Obviously, being a nonprofit, we need funding to pay for the programs, to provide them. We provide them at no cost to the schools. Mm-hmm. And so we've got companies within our communities that help us raise money to pay for the programs. And then we have companies that support us by providing volunteers. Because obviously the programs are held during the school day. So companies support us by allowing their employees to leave work to go and present the programs.
Okay, and that goes, I guess that goes for everyone, depending on what it is they're learning and where where the companies want them to go.
Yes, yeah.
That and, the teacher's permission and all that.
Our programs teach students about work readiness, mm-hmm. and so we're preparing their future workforce. So we teach kids how to fill out a job application, how to write a resume. They practice interviewing skills. We also teach them soft skills, such as how a student communicates with their friend via text is not necessarily an appropriate way to communicate within the working world. So I would say similar in the fact that we're preparing students to go into the workforce, and that's going to be their future workers.
Yeah. Now, I thought I heard you mention before we started recording that you are in need, and I assume this maybe is a constant thing, in need of partners.
We are, yep.
Tell me about that, and who exactly are you looking for?
Well, in terms of volunteers, really anybody can volunteer. People typically think of it as business professionals, and we certainly have lots of business professionals that volunteer, because we want them to take their own personal experience and share it with the students, make that learning relevant. But really anybody can volunteer. We provide the materials. Everything is all set up and ready to go. The lesson plans are all laid out. They tell you what to say, what to ask, and what to do. So anybody that wants to volunteer can. We've got retired people, stay-at-home parents that like to volunteer, but the majority are from businesses within the community.
Okay, which makes sense.
Yeah.
How do the parents get involved? Do they just have to sign forms, or are they, invited to come along in the information session and get more information that way?
So we recruit volunteers a number of different ways. Some of our current companies that we work with, they distribute information within their companies to get new people on board. We simply call companies within the community and say, this is what we do, this is what we need. Would you be willing to support Junior Achievement by volunteering? Sometimes we distribute information via the PTA or a school newsletter. And social media, of course.
Yeah, of course. Hard to avoid social media these days. And I didn't grow up with it. You're much younger than I am, of course, so you are much more attuned to, to that sort of thing. This leads me to some other questions about what professions, as kids see them, from the youngest kids to the the high school age kids, what do they see as the hot professions right now? What are they interested in getting into?
One of them is actually a financial advisor. We have a new event, it's a student event, where schools put together teams of students and they research fictional stocks, and they create a portfolio via a simulated stock market environment. And throughout the day, they trade stocks and they get news alerts that alert them of events going on in the world that might affect their stocks, and they have to, prepare and change their stocks accordingly. And so students weren't familiar with the idea of exchanging stocks, and they compete against each other, and the team that has the highest return on investment is the winning team. And so students have become very interested in the idea that investments aren't something to be scared of. It can be a great tool to grow your personal wealth.
And if you like that high pressure world, and there are a lot of kids that do,
Yeah.
then you can jump right in and see what it's like. 'Cause
Yeah.
all of us have seen, whether it be in movies or in real life, the shots of the stock exchange and everybody yelling and throwing pieces of paper up in the air, or holding their chest when they think they did the wrong thing. So that's very good.
But one of the great things about Junior Achievement and using volunteers from the community is that there's thousands of jobs out there. And students aren't familiar with all these different jobs.
Right.
And so at the very least, a volunteer might be going in there and introducing them to a new job, something they'd never thought of. I mean, I never thought of working for a nonprofit when I was growing up. I didn't know that was a job opportunity.
Sure.
So at the very least, they're introducing them to something new that's in their community that might keep them here.
Yeah, sure. And of course, that's another one of those old saws. The kid says, I'm in high school, I don't see anything for me here, I'm going to graduate from high school, maybe go to college, maybe not, and get the heck out of here. Mm-hmm. This is a way that doesn't have to happen, and it can benefit both parties.
Yeah. And by supporting Junior Achievement, businesses can showcase what they have available in the community.
So how big an area does your office cover?
So we cover 24 counties in Iowa and Illinois. So we're located in the Quad Cities, but we go clear to Dubuque, Iowa, down to Burlington, Iowa, clear to Marseilles, Illinois, to the Dixon, Sauk Valley area. Okay. So we reach about 52,000 students every school year.
That's a big area. And you employ how many people at this point?
About 17, I would say. Yep.
So a lot of work per person?
Yeah, it is, but that's, that's okay. We enjoy what we do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, how does one get in touch with Monica Telschow? And we can certainly put this on the screen too if it bears repeating, but how does somebody, if this sounds like something they might be interested in doing or becoming a part of as an adult, how would they contact you?
They can just go to our website, jaheartland.org. We're Junior Achievement of the Heartland, so jaheartland.org.
And again, for the older people like me, the telephone is usually the handiest way. Telephone number, if you will, and then maybe we'll show a few other pieces of information that are already copied to paper.
Yep. So our phone number is 309-736-1630. And they can just reach out and ask for Monica.
And for those who require a visual cue, like I do sometimes, Monica has some printed information that she'd like to show here that will maybe drive home what she's talking about, things that that people need to know and they want to stick in their mind if they haven't been listening as closely as to us as we'd like.
Yeah, so So we provide the volunteers with everything that they need to present the program. So when you sign up for a JA class, you get, we call it a kit, and within this kit is everything needed to present a program. So we provide them with lesson plans, and the lesson plans are put together so that anybody can volunteer. It tells you what to say, what to ask, and what to do. It even tells you, the lesson plans are put together in 3 different sections. You start with an introduction, where you introduce the students to some concepts or vocabulary words. Then the students do a hands-on activity pertaining to those concepts, and then you end with a summary and review. So the majority of the lesson is spent on that hands-on activity. So this particular program is called JAR Community. It's a 2nd grade program. Students first identify jobs found within a community. So we've got a poster, it's a community poster, and there are different jobs found within it. And students will do an I Spy game to locate jobs. So they'll say, I spy someone holding vegetables. And that's the farmer, and they talk about what a farmer does. Okay. We've got job cards here where the students learn about the different jobs. We've got vocabulary flashcards, and it will even tell you what is a community, a place where people live, work, play, and learn. So
and keep in mind, again, that we're starting as young as kindergarten.
Right.
Going up through, through high school. So
right.
Some of these assistants, if you will, are, based on kids who are probably not as sophisticated as they might someday be.
Yeah. So even with this one, our community students learn that businesses provide us with goods and services. And some of those businesses produce what they sell. So the students will pretend that they're running a pizza shop. Okay. And they will produce pizzas. And they have their pizza shop orders. So order 1 has tomato sauce, cheese, mushrooms, and pepperonis. So they have their little pizzas and their ingredient stickers. And they have to produce pizzas. They also get paid for how many pizzas. There is quality control as well. They get paid to produce pizzas. We've got some play money in here as well. They also learn about taxes and why we pay taxes. And they have to then give back to the volunteer. The volunteer acts as a tax collector. Sure. And they say, okay, it's payday, here's what you got paid, but now it's time to pay taxes. And they talk about why we pay taxes. Right. They also talk about voting, and that within a community, as a citizen, it's important to share your voice. And so within their community, they have a problem in the park. There's no trash receptacles, there's no place to sit, and there's no place for dogs to go. So they have ballots, and they as a class vote on which problem that they think is the most important to fix. So they discuss that you have a voice, and you get the chance to participate, but you might not always get your choice. Right. And they talk about that, and they even get little I voted stickers at the end. So when we say, we talk about economic concepts in 2nd grade, they're at the 2nd grade level. We're introducing them.
But still very comprehensively.
Yes, and concepts that everyone needs to know. Right. So,
Monica, I appreciate it. It's been very informative. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you for having me.
I'd also like to thank our entire crew here for making this program possible. We do it on a regular basis. I'm Mark Morris. Hope you can join us next time along the rock.